Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the video. Welcome to my garage. In this video, and this is probably going to be like a 2 or 3 part series, but in this video we're going to start working on the hydraulics on Wratchet, and that's going to entail the front brakes, the rear brakes, the cutting brakes, and the clutch. So what I'm going to do is I've got my little mill here. This is a Sherlin mill that I used to use for playing around with little RC car parts. And you can see it's a very small mill. But I've got a rotary table here. I'm going to set this rotor on here. And then I've got this little piece, which is actually, this is a drive shaft off of a radio controlled car. But I'm going to take this. I'm going to hook it up to my cordless drill here, and then I'm just going to slowly drive it so that I'm very slowly turning the rotary table at a very slow speed. And then I've got my fly cutter set up on the mill here, and I've got it set as close in as it can be, because cutting steel is not really what this mill is meant for, but I've got it set in as small as it can. And then I'm just going to bring it down and turn this around and slowly take cuts out of the rotor face until I have it down so that it's completely smooth. Now this is a really slow process because of the fact that I'm cutting steel as opposed to aluminum. I can only take like 3 or 4 thousandths at a time. Otherwise it's just too violent for the mill. But I understand that, and I can work with that. So what I'm going to do is set this up for my first cut. I cut the outside ring first, and then it's easier to come in and make the last cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film this. I'm not going to film it all because it literally takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I have to stop and let the motor cool because, like I said, this is a huge overreach for this mill. And don't judge me. I'm pretty confident this should work, at least for Wratchet. It's not like I have to apply the brakes when I'm on the Bonneville salt flats going 300 miles an hour. But either way, I'm going to film some of this. I'll show it in fast motion. All right, now I've got my beautiful rotors turned. These are rotors off of a Toyota 4Runner because these hubs are from a Toyota 4Runner. And as you can see, these are supposed to be vented rotors. I cut off the vented or the backside rotor. That's why I had to machine it smooth, because I cut that off with a grinder. I tried contacting local shops to have them turn it. Nobody would touch it because I had modified it from original. Whatever, I wish they would have, but luckily I was able to take the time and just set it up on the mill and do it myself. And then I vented them because venting them really helps with the braking ability and allows them to dissipate heat, and it really helps and it looks cool, so I definitely wanted to do that. But now that the rotors are good to go, I need to start running my brake lines, and that can actually be more complicated than you might think, especially on a vehicle that has longer travel. The brake lines, I'm just going to show you the fronts this time because I've started laying out the rears, but I don't have any of the components for that yet because I'm still laying things out, see what I need, ordering it, and stuff like that. So I'm further ahead on the front than I am on the rear. But on your brake lines, you're going to have a pinch point and you're going to have a stretch point. And you need to make sure that your brake line is laid out so that it has enough slack to facilitate the pull point, and you have to make sure that it can recoil enough for the pinch point. Now on my setup, the pinch point is going to be at full droop with the steering locked like this. And you can see it's already pinching quite a bit, but I'm not at full droop yet. So I think I have a pretty good setup here that will work, but I'm gonna kick this block out, take it down to full droop, and I need to make sure that this does not like pinch upon itself. So I've got the limiting strap on here, so I can just let this go. All right, that's as far down as it will go. And I need to make sure that the brake line is okay when the steering is fully locked. And so you can see at full lock, that's pretty intense. This gets close to the control arm, but it does not make contact, so that's fine. And then all of this slack comes around here, but it's okay. It's not pinched at all, so this will work. It is getting a little bit close to this nut, but it can't reach it. So I'm not in love with that, but I don't see how this could ever like wrap itself up on top of here because it's about an inch shy. And you'll see I have to have this much slack because you'll see when we go to full compression at full lock, this is almost pinched or almost stretched tight. So I have to have this much slack in here. But right here, all of this looks fine. This won't interfere with the wheel, and it's clearing everything. And I've got this strap right here because my bump stop hits right here, so I can't have this line coming up here. But so I think this looks good. So let's back up and let's take it to full compression and then lock the steering the other way and make sure we have clearance there. Okay, so I've got the springs taken off of here. I've still got the shock absorber on there just so that it will limit the travel, but the springs are off. Although that being said, oh, it's still pretty heavy. Oh, mama. Okay, all right. Okay, now that it's at full compression and the swing arm has gone from this to this, you can see that this has already changed dramatically. Now at full lock this way, it's fine. Got nothing to worry about there. But when it goes full lock this way, that's my stretch point, you know? This right here is the point that's in danger. However, this is full lock steering at full compression, so this is not like this is a state I'm going to be in, you know, on a regular basis, but it needs to be able to do this without pinching the brake line. and it is not pinching the brake line. These are nice Earls Flex lines. They're actually they're real nice, very flexible. So that is not flexing, and that's how I'm going to leave it. I don't think I'm going to give it any more slack, because at ride height and compression, it really bunches up here. And most of the time, that'll be more in a scenario like that. So, whew, I'm still breathing hard from picking this thing up. So I'm happy with that, and if the camera can see, you can see the bump stop hits here, but with these brackets and this bracket past the bump stop, that should never be an issue. So it's close, but this should never be up where that bump stop hits. So I don't have a problem with that. So let me take this down more to ride height. All right. So now I have to do the same thing with the inside connection, which I haven't done yet. I've got a little T that I need to tack weld to the chassis, and then I need to make sure that I have enough slack on the inside here so that as the suspension is at full compression and full droop, it doesn't pinch that joint as well. So those are the things I'm going to be working on over the next couple of weeks here, and then once I have this figured out, then I'll start running all of the hard lines and all that. But I just wanted to give you guys a little glimpse as to what's going on here, and maybe some of this will help you out. I really don't know. The next video will probably cover the rear in depth and the hard lines, and maybe that'll be it for the brakes. I'm not sure. Either way, thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope it's helping you with whatever you're working on, or just giving you some temporary entertainment, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.